Hey guys, just another thing out there from everything down here in the South with the deplorable comedy and everything else. They said no matter what, I still wasn't going to be able to say anything about certain people, aspects, or whatever it is out there underneath certain people, wherever in lineages and all that. Come on, man. Just get with a laugh or something else. I mean, isn't that like I don't know, going to all the things like with royalty and stuff, with where I'm supposed to have a certain pedigree or lineage for something else out there, and it's like just because it is, it's like okay, so the foreigners like you all get to love me a little more or something else, or else have some cloud overseas in some areas. But since I'm trying to be made white, I'm trying to look at my superiority thing and stuff like that and everything else. So I'm going to try and, fill the privilege with my $9.50 salary that I basically have to bum around at different family places. And it's like, I have a job, but, technically right now, everything I'm doing the plant that I work at is going through all the motions and steps of where it's closed down the last 3 to 4 times that I've lived through. So, salt all around and witch protection circles or something else for that, or because they're getting ready to take away the good unemployment just and I'm going, I was doing my part to make sure none of the people out there would go hungry again. Oh wait, I'm racist, I forgot. I was doing my part, paying my taxes, even if it's a savings and loan out there from It's a Wonderful Life from my tax return, to make sure the food stamps and whatever it is keeps coming, and we don't have to borrow so much from China. Can't you see it? Wait, there's no bells to ring, and I don't believe in, well, certain types of angels. We'll say some got some nice wings, some girls with angels. I'm sorry, that was, get back on track. This is YouTube. Um, anyway, I've never done this, so I'm going to try some white privilege here. I pay people's salaries. Whoa. I'm sorry. I'm new at this because they said that Trump took like 60 to 80% of my genome and made it white on his way going out. Biden's not found out yet, though. That's what I can do. You don't have to be a white privilege or something else to say whatever it is with elected officials. This is going to be so good. When are we going to get Joe Biden, because I'm not a History Channel fanatic, to use his Catholic power to start trickling out the dogma that it lies around the rulings of that which is a 1247, 1491, 1608, and I think it's 1521 with the Portuguese, or 1541 Portuguese and Spanish separation over the colonial world and everything else, so that we can get some clarity on a whole bunch of issues that are really plaguing this country that made everything go all the way to World War II, and it wasn't Teddy Roosevelt's fault. He's from the party of the teddy bear. That's why they call him Teddy, right? After all, he cleaned up and reformed industry and made people have to have proper working conditions and everything else, so he couldn't have been a Confederate. And before he was the bull moose, he was the teddy bear party. Anyway, I know that there's a separation of church and state, but is there a way to get this one to move in there? I understand the South used to be incredibly Confederate, and then everybody moved to the North. Starts with a C. I meant to say Catholic. There are many Catholics down here. They just don't christen because they're always at war and in Protestant, but not all the way to Protestant. It's like a halfway in between. It's kind of weird. It's not even Orthodoxy, even though they got a lot with it. That wasn't anti-Semitic, was it yet? No. I get the backhand every time that I'm like, yeah, it wasn't. You should have known that. Can't be too much out there because all the big oil industries are like, we need USA protection out there. So under politics, Halliburton has started up with everybody chasing people through the streets and major anti-Semitic stuff. And I'm going, over the last 10 to 12 years, I've watched nothing but extreme propaganda back and forth over and over on the television, where it's the same people over and over. And I'm just going, in 1988, they actually flashed over, and it's like how you can tell the 1980s movies from the other. And I know it's a security cam, but I swear it's the same guy and the same pickup truck and the same flag and two same yahoos that I go, God, they look like some of the Mussolinis that live up the road here. Slightly unshaven. It's like I feel sorry for Tim Toole and his look. But I'm just going, my God, it's the same ones doing it again. They can't catch the guy they're chasing in the pickup truck, and they can't do the other one, and I swear all they did was airbrush it out, and it's like there was a Confederate flag, and they found out that they were Arabs and Palestinians, and there was a Jewish guy who lost his hat. This time, the only thing that I can do to say it's not propaganda again is the guy had a hat on and a beard, and they had a different flag on. They told me it was a Palestinian flag, but I couldn't really tell on when it was going through, and I was just like, no. And then, like in President Obama's time, there was something similar that happened, and they said it was in a four-wheel. So are we doing government propaganda? Because the black lady and white guy, they keep hugging each other, making out, and saying, I love you, it's time to get along. The pandemic is over. We're in this war together. Iraq's over. Why don't you go back to where you came from? Why don't you go back to where you came from? Then they get back together and start licking each other and everything else, and they're having a whatever it is. And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's the same two people that I know from Magnolia and like the white area that's not kind of, it's kind of like not white, but you know what I mean. It's like they're really, really light and got like some red hair to them and a beard and glasses. And it's like right up the road, it's like you make the little L. I mean, it's like what? A city block and a half up north. And there's like the people who own the stores in the middle. So you have to buy something to go and see each side of the family. Whatever it is, like that. Small town stuff. You wouldn't understand that one. But I just kind of look at it and go, are they hacking the system because they got computers and think that Appalachia can't do anything? I swear I'm just getting the news from whatever it is. So, privilege bomb. Yeah, it doesn't explode or anything, but it makes people actually have to look into this stuff because every like 6 months to like whatever it is when I get to catch the news between my 12-hour shifts or something, they're on there on the television. So I started watching YouTube and figured I could do this channel stuff and everything, but I don't think it's going too well. And it's the same people there, and I'm like, didn't they date? So you're not dating? So it's no, that's her. She got the pink ribbon in her braids for each one. That is, I almost want to go over to the other guy and go, you drinking vitamin C because it looks like your jaw shrank a little bit and you haven't lost any teeth. I know it's been a long while. You know, they killed some people in between, like wherever it is, and all this like weird stuff. Not claiming relation because I know somebody dated somebody a long time ago, but, you know, it's looking a little propaganda-ish. I mean, maybe we need some new people for this one. I mean, course of 5 years, it's like you've been on television more than some celebrities. I mean, it's getting, when it comes up to a seriouser issue, and then like all of a sudden we had like riots and stuff out there, and I'm just going, who playing around with what? Did you accidentally hack whatever it was and you went to like major cities? I'm telling you, the smartest people in the world are in the South and like Appalachia. They're not as, this is going to be so woke. They're not as racist as you think. It's like they're playing a game for checks. And I just haven't figured out how to get any. That's why they told me I need to go back to the north or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I was being transferred over there. You tried to port me to Africa 2 or 3 times. Tried to port me to Israel, India twice. And you always put in the tropical vacation. I'm like, I'm down with that. I'll go to Brazil again, but then I have an ex there now. So it's like, can we like stop somewhere in the middle? Gas prices are going up. Cancun. Place that was in Shawshank Redemption. No? No? No. Okay. Oklahoma, I don't get that one. Why do I keep wanting to deport me to Oklahoma? That's not even halfway to China. Looks like 4 or 5 people over there in the Philippines on Filipino Cupid, and they're like, Colin, you and that guy from Three Ninjas, you both are going there. You've not done anything really productive with your lives in the last so many years. I was like, huh? What? Anyway, some things that have been going on and stuff, and just that they could get like something in there. I'm trying to privilege this. I'm trying to figure out how to do the white. And it's like, you seem to be doing pretty good because you drive a car past people. And I was going, so they don't get told that they're hookers because they're walking on the sidewalks by the Third Reich police force that we have down here. I mean, literally everyone I know of is from the Third Reich, except for Dudley Do Right. And he's just so nice, no one can ever ask him like where his grandparents came from. I mean, I don't even think people can charge him with racism because no one wants to say he has a race. And then I was just kind of like looking at everybody being like, I think you're all just trying to make me fat going on about my car. So I'll keep my car in some sort of way for reverse psychology. Let's get rid of it. I've been put on the Latin program. If you haven't noticed, I say things backwards now and then. Yeah. Yeah, I like got on to somebody that was at Abu Ghraib and they wanted to remote interrogate me for some stuff. And I was just like, Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien. Then I spoke Portuguese at him and carried on a kind of a conversation with him about going to the mall and everything else. I haven't been able to do anything else since basic startup Spanish 1 anymore. Yeah, it's a good thing I stopped talking to all the Black Dutch people because then they found out here just recently that actually meant that you could speak like something that was like Afrikaans and stuff. And I'm going, yeah, can't you read all that? This is how you pronunciate it and do the alphabet and the basics of it. What? Someone asked me again how to translate Ghanan whenever Ray Ray's wife's walking around there, since she's got such big jugs and everything else. I'm like, forget it. I don't know what the hell they're saying. I haven't remembered it since I was 8. Now and then I pick up some words like, hey, come over here, and they got like a nickname for me. I was like, oh, hey, just a second. I don't know what they're saying, really, honestly. Just because I respond to it and everything, they tell me to bring the hot sauce in Ghanan or something else, and I'm coming over there, and it's like they actually talk to me like I'm a person, and I'm not in a waiter restaurant, but I'm delivering stuff across the street from Taco Bell. So, yeah. It's like whenever I start understanding anything over at the Japanese restaurants, and they're like, they don't speak Japanese here for anything. It's like, oh, they speak a different type of valley language that's very rare and unknown of and everything else. And 3 or 4 of them be like, you don't speak my valley. No. It's like, okay, yep, sure. Anyway, looking at everything out there with this, with all the people who in the local area, because I get no views, and I got like 16 or 18 people watching this live right now and everything, and they just said, so he can understand us? I'm just saying, if you ever thought you weren't getting enough views, you need to open up a YouTube channel in California. Therefore, no one knows how to hack anything you've got, so everybody has to actually give you a view, and the YouTube algorithm puts you in where you need to be at. Anyway. So anybody understand anything that Emma Watson's saying, or anybody else? I mean, I got through the accents and everything else out there with it, and Thor guy and everything, and I was just like, Because all the schnoggins and everything else, I just don't understand it. They said there was just a made-up language for like whatever, and then I listened to some people in Welsh, and I'm going, they're using those words, and I still don't know what they mean. Like I understand everything perfectly in Harry Potter. I know every single thing that they are saying in all the different ways out there of understanding it. It is absolutely wonderful. And so, anyway, being that, all the people are out there, and that the United States wasn't founded on Christianity or anything else, or Jesus Christ, and bullying Christian principles of, isn't that what Judeo-Christian means? You forgot what your tribe and people are, and you're an escaped slave, and you're have no real holiness, and you're just like a big bully and a giant, and it's like, I'm Christian, I'm you now. Yeah. I mean, seriously, is that really what it is? Because I'm not really sure over it or anything. Because, I was just wondering if since we elected a Catholic who supposedly can't be the president because we have freedom of religion, and we do know what the founding fathers had and all this other stuff and everything, and how they really weren't white Protestant farmers and all this and everything else. And, they all just say you picked up a t-shirt on a Native American reservation that had somebody that was Sioux on it and Geronimo. And I was just like, nah, I wasn't talking about that one. But anyway, moving right along with everything else, you think we could get some information out of some people over some stuff? Get some clarification on laws with where we stand at with everything, and not turn ourselves over to like European colonization like we supposedly did with NATO. And be like, why do we need communists? We have you, USA. You don't believe in anything. Okay. I'm dying here on this one. Anyway, trying my best at the white privilege thing, especially since I'm in the lab house today and everything else. And it's made mostly look like a mental ward and remove education and everything else from you and imagination. Yeah. Where's Nurse Ratchet with all those pills? She's going to be coming any second now. Anyway, they say I still have like a yellow stripe or else a yellow belly going down me from the guys up the road at the whatever it is. I think they're the proof that like the KKK came from Rome. I'm not going to try and go over there just yet to try and, hang out with like all the white parties that I know of so I can be with all the white party people and everything. But I mean, I saw the Texas bonfire thing. They don't dress in the same uniform, but they say Texas is racist and everything else. So I know not to do that one that they were doing down there at the university with the telephone poles and how they like live in primitive society. And they're like the prepper minimalist people. So I'm going to start trying to hang out with white people. And I understand you need like a closed, sheet bathrobe and, a hood on it and everything else out there. But you can't let your face ever be covered because then it's racist to the white people from Spain and their Christianity. But I'm really going to try and figure this one out and figure out how to hang out with all the white people. Of course, I did try and date those white girls on Anastasia date and found out that there's a bunch of white guys that say that they're the lineage of Jesus Christ that are down the road and they're pocketing half of all the money for it and sent it to Cayman Islands bank account. We can't do shit about that. And then they moved it over through a German bank account, and they pulled 2 or 3 German banks from the Philippines, and they've got this huge treasure chest of like money and stuff over in the Philippines, and it's all continual World War II Axis power stuff. So, you know, I keep saying white privilege has to be only for them because you don't get much whiter than, like, you know, the people who were telling Hitler what to do. I mean, they were like, you know, the president and he's their chief of police or something. So I'm just going, white privilege. It doesn't really sound too great out there with it, but you keep looking at those giant piles of money. Of course, now and then they just move the families to the top part of the Philippines, and supposedly they disappear or something else like that. And then they lose all their money because they didn't put it in the World Bank. You know, I guess they just don't trust Islamics. But, you know, since the Islamics are white now, and as well as all the Arabian peoples and everything else out there, and like most of North Africa, and it's like oozing over into Afghanistan and those areas out through there. So eventually, since Gandhi is now an Aryan Nazi, as I learned on YouTube, all of India will be white. And, you know, I always remember him calling him, like, you know, racist things out there on television in this movie that they had and everything else that I can't say on YouTube. But, you know, and it's a 3-hour long movie. I had to sit through it. Extra credit for high school. Then I don't know, I was unemployed and it's like, wow, it's on every station channel with commercials. Change to another channel, it starts over again. I don't get it. Anyway, strange, weird, ununderstandable. Don't get it. They run out of white people. They keep saying everybody is Native American with AB positive blood. So if it's all O blood and you have to have a smooth mouth, like no tar bumps, so you can't click like people in South Africa, does that mean everybody who's in the Okavango, the Congo rainforest area, since they all have O blood, are they going to be white next? I mean, they did take the Chinese population away from the USA that was white, so I guess they had to find somebody else. But they made them yellow because they know how to stand on their own as their own race. Somehow or another, I think there's inbred redneck jokes around here with that. I think me being used as a political tool. But the black people want 24% of me still. To 18. Statistical error. They told me I should go completely Asian. And I was like, I don't think that'll work. They'll say that there's too much brown sugar in the lemon drops. Or whatever it is. Since everybody's supposed to be sweet as candy and everything else. And people just keep talking about all the different cane. And I'm just going, they don't know where the sugar cane's grown at. This white privilege shit is really hard. I want to know some stuff about all the religious things with where all of this and the war against the people of the United States came from in 1491 and everything else from all of this, and how everyone is supposedly, the other day I contacted my senators for the first time ever, and no one came to my house to knock on it and ask what we were doing and what was the intention of the words that we used. God, it's like black people when they have lawyers. Or else, held arms against us in World War II when we kicked Africa's ass. Wait, that was incredibly racist. When we had our black units that were all in Africa, kicking Africa. I can't say that because there was, I would never believe that Patton was considered black back in the day because he was an Arab Carthaginian person type thing. In USA, black people went into Italy and they all said they were possessed by the devil. That's going to make more problems out there, and we can't say that. Spike Lee could do that in his movie. Spike Lee could do that. We understand Spike Lee could do that. He's the only one that could, not make, like, whoever used to live in the South that's now the president, lynch people and have people for really rough bonfires and everything else. Where's Delaware at again? South of Pennsylvania? You hear that noise? That's Secret Service sound. The Bureau. Oh God, it's just the FBI. That's cool. Mothers are too handsy. See anybody else out there? A lot of cars passing by. Anyway, I got 30 minutes before work. See you later. I know this one took a little long. Like and subscribe. Just sitting there, it's like trying to get with the new whiteness that Donald Trump's bestowed upon me with this mantle of whiteisms. I used to have to scare people because it's like my parents had a lawyer on file or on standby. Because my mom finally got salary at her job and it was government. They always have one of those for them if they ever sue them over their own work because they have representation. It's like being a Walmart employee and Walmart's getting sued by somebody, so they're representing you because you haven't quit your job yet. Couldn't believe those people in West Knoxville bought that one. Anyway, see you later. Like and subscribe.